Yo, this is Mark from The Writing Cave. Today we are going to be taking a look at Baby Driver, written by Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright is becoming a much more well-known name within the movie industry. He's known for movies such as Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and most recently, Last Night in Soho. Shaun of the Dead was the movie that really put his name on the map. It was Edgar Wright's version of a horror movie. Shaun of the Dead replacing Dawn of the Dead. And it's about the character named Shaun and how he and his buddy are trying to navigate the world now that there are zombies in there. One thing that was clear to see as soon as one would watch that movie is the comedic elements that Edgar Wright would bring to the stories that he wrote.
It's not the end of the world.
Sorry, we're closed.
Piss it.
And that has been true of most of the stories that he has put out there, most of the movies that he's put out there. He brings a level of fun and excitement to the movies that he puts on the big screen that bring the audience into more of a more positive light. And so this is Edgar Wright's style. He brings sort of a childishness to the movies that he makes as well, which can add to the excitement of the viewers as they watch his movies. The way he's able to do this in the movie Baby Driver is by putting a young and energetic boy behind the wheel of the robberies that go on throughout the movie. We're immediately introduced to Baby as he sits in the car. The other members of the car get out and they're all dressed in black and they have assault rifles and they're heading into a bank to rob it. And we see Baby, he's waiting for these robbers to get done, and he's singing and dancing to the music that he has on in his car. So what Edgar Wright does is he takes the bad things that happen in those bank robbery movies, which is obviously the bank robbery, and he adds a little bit of fun to it by focusing on the young boy in the car who is the driver of the mission. When we think of bank robberies, we think of dangerous activities, people lying on the ground, and bank robbers threatening to kill them if they say anything. And in Edgar Wright's depiction of that bank robbery, he is showing more fun. We're introduced to the character, and then we go on a big road trip with them as they escape the police and get back to their hideout. A useful tool that Edgar Wright uses right from the beginning of the movie is the music that's played in the movie. That sets the tone for whatever is happening on the screen. So you watch a gangster movie, maybe there's not as much uplifting music versus watching Baby Driver, where we see Baby going to get coffees for the group and he's dancing to the Harlem Shuffle. Again, this is a useful tactic that any writer can use. He took an already existing genre, which is a crime movie, and he inserted his own fun, lightheartedness, and creativity into the movie so that he made it his own. It makes it an original work. We've seen a million crime movies in the past, but not a lot of people have seen a crime movie quite like Baby Driver, and that's what made it so popular. And how we sort of see this movie in a positive light is we are sort of told by Edgar Wright to be sympathetic with this main character, Baby. So a few instances of how we become sympathetic with him is the fact that he is forced into this position. He's there against his own will. And so now what happens is, since we have sympathy for that character, we want him to get out of the situation that he's in. And this is all set up by us growing to like him based on the first couple scenes in the movie where he's driving with the music in his ears and he's dancing on his way to go get coffee for the group. We think in our heads, okay, this is a good kid. He shouldn't be in this situation. How is he going to get out of this situation? That makes the audience more involved in the movie. Then we develop even more sympathy for Baby when we discover that his mom died in a car crash and that he goes to the diner to remember her. This is where he meets Deborah, who brings a romantic feel to the movie as well. So now we have a mix of genres where Baby is in a world of crime, but now he wants to break free and live with Deborah in this sort of romantic world where they drive off into the sunset with each other. And how Edgar Wright is able to keep this movie lighthearted is by following dangerous scenes with these scenes between Baby and Deborah. So one example of this is when Baby was threatened to be killed by bats, the next scene is Baby taking Deborah out to dinner. So it's sort of a back and forth between good scenes and bad scenes to keep everything balanced.
Let me take you in my arms.
And even some of the bad scenes, Edgar Wright is able to add lively music to make sure that it isn't as bad as it seems. When Baby, Bats, and the other criminals go to a warehouse to pick up firearms, Baby's listening to Tequila, and there's a big gunfight to the rhythm of Tequila. That makes a deadly situation more fun for the audience when it's going on. So the major thing that we can learn from Edgar Wright is to bring our own style into the genres that we're working with. He didn't step outside the genre that he was working with. He still focused on the crime aspect. He still focused on the bank robberies, the guns, the plans, the criminals. He didn't exclude anything that he wasn't supposed to, but the way that he made it original was he added his own flair. One, he was able to hone in on the more movies he made, the more scripts he wrote. And so as a writer, the ability to bring your own style into an already existing genre is what is gonna help originality. The reason Baby Driver was successful was because Edgar Wright took an already existing genre, the crime genre, and he inserted his own voice to it so that it became an entirely original work, which made more people want to see it. Whereas if he just did the same thing that every other director does, he might get somewhere, but he's not going to get the level of success that he got when he put his own voice into the already existing genre. It's as simple as finding a genre, studying that genre, finding the things that are very common within it, and then putting a spin to them to make them original. Be original, put your own spin on things, study genres, be creative, get writing. Thanks for watching.